Hey there everyone, and welcome to another update on the Enterprise E build. It's been a little while since our last episode. The reason for that is I've been spending most of my time focusing on my gaming channel. That's actually the channel that these videos used to be on. I've joined an SMP survival Minecraft server, and I've been focusing my time on getting that series ready to go. So if you haven't checked that out, if you haven't seen the gaming channel, check it out right here and give it a subscribe and a like. But today, we are going to be focusing on the Enterprise E. I'm going to show you a few things that I've done since the last video. There's not a whole lot, but a few things that you might be interested in seeing. Also, some of the things I mentioned in the last episode that I was waiting on, I have now and I'm able to show you. So let's get right into it. Let's take a look at the primary hull. Last time we saw it, it wasn't yet buttoned up, but it is now sealed up. I've started to do some of the putty work. Lenses for the impulse engines are in place. They look really nice when they are powered up. I will show you that to you. Something that's really interesting about this model kit is that there is an area here for a thruster on the bottom and here on the top, but they don't line up top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is on the next pass of putty that I put on, I'm also going to fill in the area that is designated for the thruster on the bottom, and I'm going to recreate lined up to go all the way around like it's supposed to, a scratch-built thruster on the bottom on each of these sections. Some of them are worsely lined up than others, so that's one of the things that I'm going to have to work on this model when I work on some of the putty. Glows really nicely. One of the things I'm concerned about is the fiber optic, because they did break off when I was manipulating it. So it's something for me to learn in the next for the next model, is to really be careful of those fiber optics. So I'm not sure how the flashing indicator lights really will show up on this model, but as I've said before, this particular model is a learning process for me, and I'm learning some skills, or putting into practice some skills that I've learned. And so there are going to be some mishaps that happen, so we'll have to see how that turns out. All right, that is the primary hull. Next up is the secondary hull, which I have here. It's been secured together, and there is going to be some putty work to do around some of the edges, but most of these edges on the secondary hull are hidden, so there's not a lot of putty work to do. Inside, I have a base attachment point here. What I've done is I've taken a T-juncture for metal tubing, and I've splayed it out, trimmed it up so that it fits in there, and it's epoxied in. This thing is not moving anywhere. So this attachment goes onto a metal tube, which then becomes what holds the model in place. That'll go on a custom built stand, and all the wires for lighting will be able to go through the metal tube, and it's going to be really secure. The model's not going to weigh a whole lot. I don't have to worry about any internal armature or anything like that for a model kit this small, but a really good solid base and a really good solid connection point to the model is a must. So that has been done. Next thing I'm going to be working on this portion is getting some of the lighting installed for the lights on the windows, and getting the lighting and the parts for the navigational deflector installed here. So that's what's next on the docket for the secondary hull. Mentioned last time that I was going to be ordering some side glow fiber optic, and I've ordered two sizes of that. This is 3mm side glow. I also have, I believe it's in the drawer. Yeah, here it is. I also have 5mm fiber optic side glow. I did a couple tests on it, wasn't really getting the results that I wanted, but I am going to do some more work with it, do some better tests, some proper mock-ups, just to see what kind of glow I'm going to get out of the LEDs that I put on there. The idea is that when I put together the warp nacelles, that if I put oops, I've dropped it on the floor. I'm going to put blue LEDs on either end of this, insert it into the warp nacelle, probably the 5mm, not the 3mm here, but I've got a small piece just for showing you. It'll go inside and it will glow blue, but it should give an even glow if it works the way it's supposed to. If I don't get the brightness out of it that I'm looking for, then I might need to go to a strip of the LED tape inside. which I'm trying to avoid because I don't want to deal with the hot spots, cold spots on that. Most of the models of this kit I've seen online that have done lighting, you can really tell the hot spots. Now that might just be a factor of the video camera that they're using to film it, but I want to avoid that as much as I possibly can. I've frosted the chiller grills, the clear chiller grills, quite well. So that should really help. I can do a few other tricks in there to disperse the light a little bit. But my first choice would be to be able to use the side glow fiber optic. So hopefully that works out okay. Next up, I want to show you something that I mentioned in the last episode I was going to be purchasing. And that is the system for doing the kind of lava lamp type glow in these art collectors on the Warp nacelle. And these are the actual lighting components for it. There's 3 LEDs grouped together, common negative with the positives going on down here. I wanted to test these out to make sure they were working properly, and I assumed that they were resistored up to the LEDs, and well, I was wrong. So when I put them into 9 volts of power, I blew the LEDs. So that means that I'm going to have to reconstruct this little lighting rig from scratch. Not a big deal because this isn't the most important part of the component. The most important part of the component is the little control board that I have stashed away that came with the lighting. That'll deal with the flashing lights. It'll deal with the lava lamp with the 3 LEDs here. So I'm not too concerned. It's just a bit more work than I was expecting. I'm gonna have to figure out how this was all done properly and get it hooked up. I wouldn't have been able to use this wiring anyway because it's too big to fit through the nacelle pylons. And what I've done on the nacelle pylons is, and I think I've shown this before, I've put the magnet wire through it, create a bit of a channel on the inside that this fit into, and I'm also puttying up the seam here. So it's all nice and flush. And I just dropped it on the floor, dropping everything on the floor today. But yeah, so I've got those. That should turn out really nice in the Warp engines. A couple more things on the show and tell side of things. I have purchased the Paragraphics Photoetch kit for the Enterprise E. So we've got covers for the chiller grills. Mine, what I've done is in preparation, I've sanded them down so that the photo etch will sit on them well. Also, it provides a little bit of frosting so that the lighting, if there's any hot spots, is taken care of. There's a few other parts on here, the photo etch for the impulse engines, the deflector dish, shuttle bay, and a few other components here. So this is going to be really handy. It's just going to add that crisp, fine detail that painting just simply won't do. The other thing on my show and tell is this thing here. So I have a runabout. I've got the Rio Grande here, and don't look too closely at it. I built this when I was a kid, and I just put it together, painted it by hand. The decals have all come off. It's yellowed in the sun, and it's not a great built model. But I have another kit up on my shelf that's brand new. And what I've done is I've purchased the interior kit, aftermarket kit for this. This is not commercially available. It's available online through a company that makes aftermarket parts and other Star Trek type related model kits. Now, I'm not planning to do this kit for quite a while. This is going to sit on the shelf for a little bit, but I want to make sure that I got it because CBS is really cracking down on anybody that is producing and selling anything that is remotely involved with Star Trek. And I know a few people have been shut down in some of the projects that they've been doing. So I wanted to make sure that I could get this before my source for it got shut down. I'm not going to say where I got it just to protect the source. If you are interested in that, I'm sure that you can find it yourself online. It's not too difficult, but I'm just not going to mention the source for it here. So we've got the roof portions. You can see that they match up with the kit here. We've got all kinds of little greeblies, chairs and panels and different things, the support structures, the flooring, basically everything that you need to turn to create the interior of the runabout. So when it's all done, you'll be able to look in through the windows, which I've just got blacked out from the back. The windows on the sides and on the back, and you'll be able to see the interior of the runabout as seen on screen. So I think that's really cool. It's going to be several years before I get to it, but I have it, so I know I'm not gonna have an issue being able to create that. So I'm really excited about that. Next up, I'm gonna plug in the impulse engines and give you a really good look at what they look like, because the next thing I'm actually gonna work on the model is getting them masked off. So I wanna show you what they look like before they get masked off, because they're gonna stay masked off now until the paint work is done. Here we are with the impulse engine demonstration. I'm just gonna turn on the power. There we go, and we've just got a nice, lovely glow on the impulse engines. Let me turn the overhead lights off so that you can get a better look. There we go, nice red glow. I'm gonna bring the camera in just a little bit for you. You can even see that some of the lights are shining through on the windows. And if I was to move that around, you would see those window lights much better. But the point is to see that really nice, soft glow. And what I like is that it's not overexposing on the camera, which just kind of indicates that it's just the right level of glow. It's not too much. The other view I wanted to give you was this view from pretty much straight on the back. You can see where the LEDs are in there, but again, it's not too overexposed. Just slightly orange on the camera, but just really the perfect amount of glow on those impulse engines. I just hate lighting that is out of scale and too bright, and I really think that this is just the right level of brightness. Let me see if I can just move this primary hull around so you can see some of those window lights there. If I was to tip it up, you would see them even better. There's no gloss in the windows yet, so you do get that sparkle of the direct on from the LED once in a while. And you can see the red of the indicator light there. But yeah, it looks really cool, and that red glow of the impulse engines just is I think really spot on. Something I'm really proud of on this model so far. Well, that's everything that I have for you today in this update. I hope that you've really enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button below. If you have any suggestions for me, some tips, some tricks, some better ways of doing things that I could incorporate into my model, let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? You'll make me very happy. But this has been Andrew with my Enterprise E update video. Have a great day, everyone.